Hey up and welcome back. So before we get started with today's main feature, I'd firstly like to take this opportunity to express my continued thanks and appreciation to each and every one of my subscribers and viewers. Without you setting aside moments of your time, however brief or infrequent that might be, to view this channel, none of my endeavours would be worthwhile. And on that more general theme, please can I ask that if you are a viewer of this channel and that you find it of some value and or interest, that you click that subscribe tag along with the notifications bell icon. It costs absolutely nothing, but it helps me enormously. Secondly, and since this will be the last video until after Christmas, I'd like to wish you and yours the best of all things in the coming days. Be you of any faith or none. It is known as the season of goodwill. Personally, I don't think we should need a particular season set aside for such purposes. I much prefer it if goodwill was an enduring year-round sentiment. A point I've always felt completely lost on our governments and institutions, as they spend way too much of their time and our money telling us what we should think. If I had any Christmas message, it would simply be, learn to think for yourself. And from that somewhat philosophical point, onto today's video featuring the fitting of CNC brake and clutch levers and a retro styled show plate to my Royal Enfield Classic 350. I've spent so much time lately adding to my Royal Enfield Scram 411 to turn it into a bike for all seasons that my Classic and my Interceptor are starting to feel a bit neglected. And so it was that some attention to my little green beauty was long overdue. Now at the end of this video you'll see the fitting of that old style British licence plate. Now let me make it clear at this point please that licence plates like these are not public road legal in the United Kingdom unless your vehicle was first registered before the 1st of January 1975. And no part of this video should be taken as encouraging or condoning such use. That said, I'm sure we've all seen the proliferation on UK roads of vehicles displaying standard black on yellow plates which have a size and or configuration which does not comply with the regulations. So how many times have you seen, usually on cars, plates displayed where the mounting screws have been strategically placed or characters moved out of format to suggest a name or something similar? I think that the number of those plates to be seen on our roads tends to suggest that it's not an area of focus for our already depleted and overstretched roads policing units, and it's hard to see how a gentleman of a certain age bimbling along on his modern Classic should attract the attention of the authorities. But of course you never know. So for the record, if your bike was registered on or after the 1st of January 1975, these plates should be regarded as display plates and not for general road use. Okay, so grab a libation of your choice, be it an infusion of beans, of leaves, of hops, of grapes or grain, and take it in the spectacle which is my amateur videography, ably assisted and interrupted by my rescue German Shepherd, Eddie. Right, let's get on with it. Right, so here we are. These are the CNC aluminium billet brake and clutch levers for the Royal Enfield Classic 350. They're available from Hitchcock's, but I suspect the ones from Tech Bike Parts are exactly the same. So yeah, let's get them fitted. Right, so first off, on the right hand side of the bike you'll see down there the clutch housing with the clutch cable adjustment mechanism. So what you need to do here is you need to take a 12mm open-ended spanner and adjust those two nuts backwards. Now it's a good idea, as you can see me doing here, to mark up the original position first with a marker pen, then take the 12mm spanner, adjust the locking nut there, and then if you just slacken back the retaining nut at the other side, and then you just need to push forward that assembly, which will then give you sufficient slack at the brake lever to be able to remove the cable. Right, okay, so this is how the lever should be, the clutch lever, once you've slackened off that adjustment. Okay, so next you're going to need an 8mm spanner, and you're going to be using that to slacken off the locking nut underneath that retaining Allen bolt that you can see there. That's where the brake lever pivots on that Allen bolt. So the Allen bolt itself is threaded into the lever assembly, so that bolt underneath is just, or rather that nut underneath is just a locking nut. So you just need an 8mm spanner to remove that nut, which will then allow you to screw out the Allen bolt and remove the lever. Okay, it's a little bit fiddly just underneath there. Be careful not to drop it. Okay, so next job then is to remove that retaining Allen bolt at the pivot there, and that's an 8mm Allen spanner. And there we are, bolt removed, and now we can pull the lever out, and there will be enough slack in that cable now to allow us to manoeuvre it out of the recess at the back of the lever there. So that will just need a little bit of persuasion to come out. And there she comes. Okay, so next job, take the new lever, and you'll see on the flip side of that lever is the recess where that little metal cylinder at the end of the cable needs to go to lock it into place. So it's just a matter of popping that into its recess, letting it lock home, and then placing the anchorage part, the black part there of the lever, back into the housing on the bike, like so. Very straightforward. Okay, next up, pop that Allen pin back in and tighten it up again with the 4mm Allen spanner. Doesn't need to be hugely tight there, just enough to secure that pin in place and allow free play, and then just a matter of popping back that 8mm locking nut at the bottom there, and that's the new clutch lever in place. Okay, next job then, back to the clutch housing on the right hand side of the bike and just relocate those two nuts to secure the adjustment and be guided by the marks that you made earlier. And now, very important this to ensure that you have about 5 to 10 millimeters of free play before that clutch lever bites. So very important that you check you've got that little bit of free play on the lever before it engages. Okay, and now over to the brake lever, and this is even more straightforward. So we just need to remove the locking nut first, and this time that locking nut will be a 10mm spanner. And again, the Allen bolt you can see there at the pivot point is threaded itself, so the nut underneath is just a locking nut. And again, that retaining bolt there at the pivot point, a 4mm Allen key or Allen spanner is what you'll need for that. Okay, next up, locate the new brake lever into the housing there and make sure that the silver plunger, which activates the master cylinder, engages with the hollowed out concave dish on the far side of that brake mounting point there, the black part of the brake lever. And finally, very important this, get on the bike and fire it up, and you need to make sure basically that the brake light works correctly, which tells you that the micro switch underneath the lever there has engaged correctly with the new lever, and also the micro switch on the clutch side, which tells the bike when the clutch is disengaged. That's basically to prevent you starting the bike in gear. Right, okay, now onto the license plate, the number plate, and it's just a matter of retaining the two plastic screws and nuts that hold the plate in place at the back there. And here's the new retro number plate, the show plate. Once again, not public road legal in the United Kingdom. So first thing is to line up the old plate so that we can secure the drill holes in the correct place for the mounting bolts. Now I think the best way to match up the old plate to the new so that you can line the drill holes up is to use masking tape on all four sides. Okay, and it's a good idea now to select a drill bit which is about half the diameter of the final hole that you'll require to accommodate the screws, and this will enable you to drill an initial pilot hole before moving on to the larger bit to finish the job off. And so here, just match up the shaft end of your final drill bit to ensure it's just a tiny bit bigger than the actual diameter of the retaining screws. Okay, then just a matter of removing that masking tape and checking that everything's been secured neatly, and you'll see there's a bit of swarf there on the left, just a matter of filing that back before we refit the plate. And then, very straightforwardly, just a matter of resecuring the new plate using the existing screws. And of course, if one of your drill holes has miraculously gone through an all black area, then the black plastic retaining screw is ideal, as you can see there. But you can reuse the yellow one, and you can touch it in with a bit of paint, as we shall see. And there we go, a little bit of metallic silver. Yeah, Van Gogh, eat your heart out. Job done. Alright, hope that was of some use to you, of some interest. Please again, click a like, click a subscribe, any comments please below, that's fine, and I'll catch you on the next one. Okay, all the best, ride safe, be kind, and think for yourself. Catch you later.